Alrighty guys, so everything is processing along nicely here. We're getting it all crushed down, what have you. So now, let us take a look here, make sure we got all our tech, okay. Now let's go make some acid. So we're going to go on up here. And we're going to get this going. So the first thing we're going to want, hydroplants. And we're going to want 2 of them. And we're going to, of course, want 3 spaces between them. So let's just go ahead and get that set up now. There we go. Alright. So, there we go. And we're going to tell these guys to do sulfuric wastewater purification. That's going to give us sulfur. That's where we're going to start getting our sulfur from. There are a couple of ways to get sulfur. That's one of them. Another one is hydrogen sulfide gas and sodium sulfate, but this is the one we're going to use for now. Now, this hydrogen sulfide gas one is when we start getting into the puffers and stuff, we'll be able to get hydrogen sulfide gas out of that. And then of course, acid gas and blah, blah, blah. But we're going to do this right now. All right, so that's going to bring in our sulfuric waste water. And we'll put in a couple of pipes. And we'll put in a couple of undergrounds. And we will come up here to, there it is, sulfuric wastewater. And we will pick off of that. Alright, now there's not much in the line right now, there's some. But that's okay, because as things go along, it will, it will ebb and flow. Alright, so there we go. That's going to be our incoming for that, right? And then that is going to give us sulfur, mineralized water, and purified water, which, we're making purified water over here as well, but that's okay. So there, and there. So bring this up to here, right? That should be purified water. Yes, it is. Okay. So there's our purified water coming out. And this is going to be our mineralized water coming out. So where is mineralized water? Is right there. So we'll do here. And that should give us our mineralized water. Yep, there we go. All right. So then what we're after is the sulfur, right? And sulfur is going to come out, and we'll go into a chem plant. And this chem plant, we are going to make, where is it? What is the next step in this? Let me make sure here real quick. Sulfuric acid, craft, sulfur dioxide gas. That's what we want. Sulfur dioxide gas. So sulfur dioxide gas, sulfur dioxide synthesis is lime and sulfur dioxide gas, which is calcium and purified water. We're not doing that one. We are doing this one. So we got to bring in oxygen, and we got to bring in sulfur, and that's why we were working towards making the oxygen. Where was it that we were making oxygen? We're making oxygen over here, right? So there's our oxygen that we've got. So we're going to bring in those two items, which is the sulfur, right? And we're going to bring in oxygen. All right. And that should be right here. All right, so there we go. So there's our oxygen. That is going to give us sulfur dioxide gas, right? And then we're going to take sulfur dioxide gas. We're going to put it into another set of chem plants. And we're going to turn it into sulfuric acid, which is right there. And for that, we are going to need purified water, right there. And then we're going to need, oops, you know what? We can, yeah, let's do this. And then do this. So we can still walk through here. But I want to tie these together, right? So that, you know, whichever one's producing, we get equal amounts to both of them. All right? And then we're going to come out of those. And we're going to bring it on up here to right here. There it is. Right, so that's going to give us sulfuric acid. All right, that's going to be our sulfuric acid out of there. So there is our setup. So let's go ahead and power it up. And I think we can make it reach right like that. And we'll use a small pole. We'll not waste our medium poles. All right, so there it is. That's gonna do everything. Now, we don't want this to just keep doing, and then blowing it out the other end. We want to regulate this so that we don't get, you know, more than we need. So how are we going to do that? I do not think. Yeah, so you can't attach a red circuit to that, but what you can do, I do believe, top up valve, overflow valve, non-return valve, inspector valve. I believe that with an inspector valve, what you can do, where did it put it? There it is we can do this, right? I think. And this inspector valve will, in theory, it says pipe section that can hold 1,000 units of fluid and can be connected to a wire. All right. Now these ones have all have a directional arrow on them. I don't know if that directional arrow pertains to this one or not, but that's okay, because what we can do, what we're going to do, is put this here. And we're going to put that one here, and then that should reach. All right, and then do we have copper in hand? We don't have copper in hand. We need a copper wire. So do we have some copper down here? I hope so. Yes, we do. And so we want CAB, copper cable. We want to make one. Well, it's actually going to make two. And then we're going to go over here and we are going to disconnect these poles. Right? We're going to take the wires off of the poles because we don't want them for power. We want them to be able to monitor that. So we'll go there to there, to there, to there, to there, and then to there. All right? And then this should be read contents, right? And then we're going to want this 80%. So this, if this holds 1,000, 80% of 1,000 is 100, or is 800, right? So if we tell this, turn on when acid, sulfuric acid, is greater than, or is less than, we want less than, and we want, let's see, let's do 750, okay? So if it's less than 750, that will turn on. Right? And right now it is 770, so we're okay. Now I wonder, yeah, so now it's down to 500. Turns that on, we're good to go. All right, so that is what we were after. That's what we want. Because over in our tank farm, we have the everything above 80% goes to a stack. So we don't want to be making here and blowing it out the stack and just kind of wasting things. We want this to fill this line up, and once this line is filled, we want it to just stay static, and anytime it needs it, it will produce. All right, so there we go. There is our sulfuric acid. Now there's a couple of ways we could have done it. We could have put a top-up valve over here, and if you remember, the top-up valves will output if the downstream side is less than 80%. So we could have put a top-up valve here and went ahead and done it that way. So there's two ways to do it. I just kind of wanted to play around with the red circuits and do it with the red circuits because I wanted to see. I've not used one of these inspector valves before. I wanted to try it out. But we could have, if we needed to, just put one of those in, and then as long as this was above 80%, it wouldn't have flowed, and then that would have stopped that too. But there we go. Now we know sort of how those monitoring valves work, and we've got our sulfuric acid production going. So next episode, we're going to start working on melting this stuff down and melting this stuff down with acid and turning it into what we need to turn it into. All right, guys, there we go. It's a short video this time, real quick. We don't really have that much that we're needing to worry about. Let me go over here. I'm just curious and take a look at our research and see what it is we are missing. We're missing blue circuits, and it's making them. It's just making them slow, which means probably our red circuits. Yeah, it's our red circuits that we're backed up on, and that's because of the gold. Because the gold's not producing very quick, but we're okay. All right, guys, here we go. I will see you in the next episode. Bye now.